The agency law disclosure does not mention, much less define, the broker's role as an exclusive agent for either the buyer or seller. Yet, the separate agency confirmation provision included in all targeted transactions calls for the broker to make this distinction known to all the parties involved. The mandated provision requires the broker to characterize their conduct with the parties as the agent of the seller exclusively or the buyer exclusively. The agency confirmation provision declares the agency relationships each broker may have with the principals in a specific transaction underway. With the agency confirmation included in written negotiations to purchase or lease, this relationship is consented to by all the parties when they sign the documents. The seller's agent, with an exclusive right to sell listing, understands the prospective buyer may turn out to be one of their own buying clients. This representation of opposing parties makes the broker a non-exclusive dual agent. The agency law disclosure states the generally accepted principles of law that govern the conduct of brokers who are acting as agents solely for the seller or a buyer, or a tenant or landlord. Two categories of broker obligations arise in a transaction, including the special or primary agency duties of an agent, which are owed by a broker and their agent to their principal. These are known as fiduciary duties, and the general duties owed by each broker to all parties in a transaction, requiring them to be honest and avoid deceitful conduct. These are known as general duties. The agency law disclosure form contains the wording for the agency confirmation provision to be included in targeted transactions. However, the confirmation provision in the agency law disclosure form is not filled out, since the agencies to be confirmed by each broker in the purchase agreement or lease provision are not known at the time of the initial employment when the agency law disclosure is first presented to the principal. The agency in a potential future sales transaction cannot be determined, much less confirmed, at the time the broker first presents their seller with the agency law disclosure form. Written disclosures work to eliminate later disputes over agency duties. Agency conflicts discovered when in escrow often become the basis for canceling a transaction, the payment of a brokerage fee, or both. Some of the most common transaction documents the agency law disclosure needs to be attached to in targeted transactions include a seller's listing, a buyer's listing, a landlord's authorization to broker to lease property on their behalf for a lease term of more than 1 year, an exclusive authorization to locate space for a tenant seeking to lease real estate for a term greater than 1 year, a purchase agreement, any letter of intent prepared for and submitted on behalf of a buyer or tenant or landlord, a residential or commercial lease agreement for a term exceeding 1 year, and an offer to lease.